Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm here. Good morning, good morning, good morning, or good afternoon for the people that are on the East Coast. I know some of you guys are on the, excuse me, are on the East Coast. Cheers to you. It is a good morning, isn't it? Hi, everybody. I can see you guys in the comments. Naga and Pabu. Is it right? Pabu? Right? That's how you say that. I only just started watching the show, so I've only gotten a little far into it, but I haven't. I think I met all the main. Yeah. You meet all the main characters in like the first episode, I believe. It's really weird watching it because the last time I watched like Avatar, I mean not the last time, but the first time I watched Avatar, I was very young. So to see like new characters and stuff come up is bringing back all these kind of nostalgic memories. Did you guys all watch Avatar when it was coming out originally? Um, that would be an interesting thing. Oops, there we go. So today we're doing Legend Korra Kinetic Art, and if you don't know what Kinetic Art is, I will explain it in just a second. But I figured it worked really well for the Legend Korra because of her and like the challenges that she has in the beginning of the show, at least, just with problems with moving and everything. So if you're new, I like to do today's morning game plan, which is where we go through everything that we're going to do that day really quick, and you can see it at the top of the timeline right up there. So we're going to start with our art review, which is where we look at art that was submitted from last episode. Then we do our quote of the day, which is a quote from an artist or somebody who can inspire us and get us into the right headspace, which gets us, which takes us to the morning mindfulness, which is where we try to like center our brain and get ourselves in a good headspace to draw. Then we have our two icons, which I leave as like hints for what we're going to draw today. So this is one, and then the next one is on the other side of the karate break. The karate break, excuse me, again, I throw in the middle because it's important for us to keep on moving and not get too stiff in our drawings. So just like how we want to have a good headspace, we also want our bodies to be in a good space too, so we're not too stiff or getting frustrated by the drawings. Then we go on to our challenge of the day, which I leave you guys with a challenge that you guys can draw something on your own after the show is over. And then our morning mail, which is when I get to see if we've received any mail from any of my students of art that wasn't from last episode, which is always exciting to see. And then we say our goodbyes, which is always so sad. But then I will see you guys the following weekend. So our last week we did Spooky Halloween class, and these are some of the masks that we did. Zoe, did you see this eventually? Like were you able to? I know I did it a little bit in class, but I took a picture of everything. This one, one of the students, Zoe, made the mask. It was a cat that she had drawn. And then these are some of the other suggestions that we had. I was also dressed up as Bob Ross, so that's why it looks a little crazy. That's why Spider-Man has an afro, pretty much. And then this is the cat that Zoe drew. She drew this as a costume for her plant because she doesn't have a pet. So instead of creating a costume for her pet, she created a costume for her plant, which I love. I love this style. Is that a gouache brush? Zoe looks really cool. It looks very painterly, as I was always told that my paintings looked in college, which means it was like very very not locked down, if that makes sense. Like it was like kind of like smudgy around the edges a little bit, and kind of like you use a lot of like brush strokes, like very Van Gogh. That's like what they mean when they say painterly. And I got that not critique, comment or compliment all the time with my painting class. So if you guys want to submit your art, you can submit it noahfontaine@gmail.com, the Morilla brush. I'll have to try it out. Or you could just tag me in it on Instagram or DM it to me on Instagram at teacher.noah. And our quote of the day comes from Heather Hansen. Now, she is very much still alive. I know I do a lot of posthumous artists that have been long gone. But she is still alive, and she does this really cool art that I found. She does kinetic art, and kinetic art is when you are creating the picture by moving your body and the motions of your body. So if you look at, oops, there we go. If you look at the way that she's doing it right here or over there, um, oh, hey, Kevin, yay, you're here. So excited you're here, Kevin. That's awesome. Welcome. Kevin, do you like The Legend of Korra too? Is that why you're especially excited to join the show? Yeah, Heather's artist, dancer, theater designer, as she creates these pieces of art by like moving her body in unison on the ground, and that's what kinetic art is where you're moving your body, and she creates these really cool designs all by like kind of rolling around on the floor, and she and you can see the photos of her up there too, which is kind of similar. It's not drawing with charcoal, but it's drawing through dance. She kind of left the exposure on the camera open a long time. That way I caught her whole movement and not just one still second. Heather said, I'm often looking so far ahead I forget how far I've come. It's hard to believe that one year could be so filled with long-held and finally realized dreams, challenges, growth, loss, and discovery. Which, it's something I've been talking a lot about with some of my friends, and just looking back on this year and seeing how far we've come. You guys should really give yourself a pat on the back, a round of applause, something. Treat yourself out to a nice fun night or something like that if you haven't already, because to make it this far through this year, 2020, it's been a very stressful year for pretty much everybody, I would say. I don't think I've talked to anybody that hasn't been exempt from the stress. But you can look at it like this has been a crazy year, and you're tired, or you could look at it like, look how far I've grown this year, and look how much I've overcome this year, and I'm so much stronger now because of this year. And that's kind of what she's saying too, and why it's really cool. Her artwork, you can look back and see all the lines that she did. You can see how far she's come instead of seeing one final piece. Oh, thanks, Isabella. So for our morning mindfulness, as we take a moment to take a breath, and everybody take a breath with me. Good. As we take a moment to breathe, close your eyes and think back to the person you were at the start of this year. Heather's art gives us a unique depiction of time in a single image through the lines she makes with charcoal on her canvas, which basically means she shows us in one picture a lot of time being passed, and you can see it from the start where she started, and you can see the line where it finished. Just like how Heather can look back and see every line and motion she made with her body in her art pieces, it can be fun to look back on our own lives and see how far we've come. I sometimes will write like a timeline of my years, and then you can see every year what things you learn and what things you've done, and what things you've accomplished, and the people you've met. And it's kind of cool to see that all in one timeline. You can see how much you were able to fit into an individual year. And as we move on to the next portion of the class, I invite you to take this opportunity to use your entire body to make your mark on the page and see how much you can do. And today's verse of the day, which is a new thing I'm starting, just because one of my conversations led to it, is from James chapter 1, 2 through 3, where he says, when it seems as though you are facing nothing but difficulties, see it as an invaluable opportunity to experience the greatest joy that you can. For you know that when your faith is tested, it stirs up power within you to endure all things. Basically saying that even going through these difficult times, you should take that as like something to make you excited and something to make you really happy, because through these tough times, you're going to actually get so much. Basically like being in school in general. It's not always easy, but you come out of it so much stronger and smarter than you were before. All right. Now, we're going to move on to our static art. And for that, I'm going to switch to the iPad cam, and here we go. Okay. Hello, Mo. Hello, everybody that's joining now. Okay. Now, I'm assuming you guys just want to draw these characters like straight up, right? You just want to like learn how to draw these characters. These are some of the main characters. I also have, I saw that you guys were requesting, what's his name? Pabu? Is this Pabu or is, this is Naga? I forget. This is Naga, yes. Still learning the names of the characters on the show. Names are always the last thing that I remember, but I can probably draw them pretty well. Okay. So should we draw Naga and Korra, or should we try to draw the whole gang first? I'm thinking, let's try to draw this gang. And we'll start like so. Okay, so right now I'm in the sketching brush right there. And I have this blue layer right here. That's really cool how it shows up. All right. Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is, for this one, we're going to use a kind of art, a kind of sketching, where I think it's called, I think it's like scumbling or scrumbling or something like that. But I remember seeing this in Naga, you guys are saying. Okay, we'll start with Naga then. This one's a nice static one, actually, anyway. So static means that you're not moving, which neither of them are. But we're still going to use this drawing style, almost like one line. All right, we're going to do Naga first since you said you voted for both, Zoe. Okay, so what this technique is that you're basically just kind of building it, almost as if you're building it out of wire. We're just going to go like this. Now, if you're using like, I'm able to create a new layer on top and lighten this layer. If you don't have that, you could always use a piece of tracing paper on top and trace over your own drawing. Or you could do it like I'm doing with a different color and then draw over it with a darker, like a regular pencil. Or you can just draw over it with a lighter pencil, but I'm also going to create a new layer and use blue just so you guys can see the difference. Okay, so right now, this will just be our warm-up one. We'll do it quick, okay? Make sure I'm on the right layer. Good, okay. So what we're doing is we're just letting the lines flow, kind of letting it build itself, as if we're like adding on to it with clay. There we go. Or wire, this is a really fun technique because it lets you kind of get the really good lines without worrying too much about making a mistake. Because a lot of artists struggle with that, where they don't want to make a mistake, so then they end up like barely making any lines, and like if they make one good line, then they're like, oh, it's so precious, I don't want to ruin it by making another line. This method is just totally kind of just scribbling right in. I learned this method actually from How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. It's a book, and I actually gave it a copy to my students that were in my cartooning class at the CTN studio. They were able to donate some of the books, and it was really cool because I was able to donate them, and in that book they show how they draw. Sometimes they'll draw superheroes this way, where it's like if they're really struggling with the character, or if they just don't want to do like the typical stick figure, they'll just do this. And what's cool, what I like about this one too, is that when you are drawing, you just go straight for the drawing. Like you don't have to do a stick figure or anything like that if you like just to go for the drawing. There we go. Cool. I love her baggy pants. That's so cool. Really cool design. Alright, I think that's good enough for our scumbling. So I'm going to stick with calling it. Slide this guy over. And what I'm going to do is lighten it. That way you guys can still kind of see it. We're going to go over it with a darker line. Okay. feel like this was a golden retriever dog. That's like the dog they picked to make it look like a polar bear golden retriever dog. It's got those expressive kind of eyes. There we go. Okay. Cool. We're still doing good at time, so I think we're going to be able to get to draw the gang too. Okay. Did you guys know? And I had a book from the original Avatar, like how they how they came up with the characters. That Avatar was actually before it was like the temples and the set in the past kind of. They were actually going to have Avatar be a futuristic thing, and Momo was going to be like an electronic monkey robot that he had that could fly too. And Avatar was going to use like it was going to be like a robotic wand thing instead of his bow staff. You could look it up if you try to Google it. You could see that he had those. They actually have drawings of those that you can still see, which is really funny because I feel like it would not have been that much of a good show if they had gone that route. I'm glad they went. Oops, there we go. Her arm thing kind of reminds me of like the Pocahontas arm tattoo that she has. Do you guys remember that? It's like got the spiky lines too. Okay. I'm doing this one quick just so we can make sure we can go on to the next one. Also, these lines are not very neat either, so you could always go over it one more round and clean up the lines. I love the little dog paws that Naga has. That's so cute. Voila. And then if we take away the back white, the blue, we have a pretty nice picture of them. I gave him a little bit thicker fur, actually, I'm noticing now. She's a little bit shorter too. I think they need to be stretched out, which is all I would do for that would go like this. Stretch them out a little bit more. There we go, that looks a little bit better. All right, fun stuff. Okay, let's draw the gang. For this one, I'm going to choose a different, you guys can use colored pencils for these. Vice versa, and Toph was the design for Bowling first. Oh yeah, that's right. Was an app originally supposed to be Polar Bear too? Maybe. I realized, sorry, I didn't see your comments until now. Yeah, Bowling was supposed to be the design for Toph, and then I forget why they said that it was like it wasn't interesting enough for that story to have like another like buff guy or whatever, and they totally changed it. Oh, thank you, Kevin. Yeah, if any of you want to, you can, while we're switching subjects to draw, you guys can like the video and subscribe. Yeah, which one was the one I was going to say? Toph. Yeah, Toph is going to be a huge buff dude, which I think which is why they made a joke about that when you see the play of them, and they make Toph's character played by a big buff dude, which is really funny. Okay, so for these, I want to use different colors for each of the characters. So, let's see, Avatar's son, I forget his name. What is it? Roku? Is that his son's name? We're going to use like this red color. Let's just start by kind of scribbling them in, okay? We're going to do exactly like we did. And I think we need to make this bigger, though. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, now we can see. Okay. And what's cool about this style too is that you're really getting into the flow of the character and the movement. So even if the proportions are a little bit off, it'll still look like the character because you got the motion right. And that's kind of, it can almost be more important in a lot of cases. And like the video and subscribe. If we have time after, I can show you guys the book too. Okay, let's do, what's his name? The brother that acts like May, kind of. I feel like they would have gotten along really well. That was a cool game, though, how they were playing like dodgeball at the very beginning. I really like that. And I like those like boards that Korra had to like fly through. Or not fly through, but like walk through. And how they jumped right into like her conflicting. If you guys were a bender, Roku was the avatar before Aang. Right, but didn't he name his... Yeah, I think they wanted the personality, and I think... Oh, Tenzin, that's what I'm thinking of. Right, this is Tenzin that we just drew in the orange. I thought he named him after Roku, that's why. Bumi, Kaya, and Tenzin. Yeah. Yeah, I think they did that. They named her that, or they changed Toph just because it was like that is kind of her character, but then they wanted to have it be a little bit more interesting and less like on the nose, you know? Like how many times have you seen like a big stubborn dude like in movies? Like that's always like the bouncer or whatever like that, you know? So it's like it's kind of like, well, we've done this, we've seen this happen a million times before, let's do something else. And there's his hand right there, gotcha. Okay. We'll make Poe, right? Is that his name? He's gonna be green. I did heard here too that the animals, when they made the animals in the show, they they kind of snuck it in, or they kind of like created a morphed animal at the beginning, like I think there was like the penguins and like obviously Appa, but when they first started doing those, they just Kai was named after Katara's mom. Boomy was likely named after Aang's friend. Oh yeah, of course, Boomy. Kaya, that's one I didn't know. But the animals, when they were like just coming up with the story, they did that. Excuse me, kind of like as a joke, mixing the animal breeds together, and then it just became like each episode people were just like coming up with different ones, and they were just they definitely didn't have them all figured out at the beginning. They were just kind of making those guys up as they went. Okay. It was cool seeing people earthbending. Well, I was gonna say for fun or for like sport and not just like self defense, but then I guess Aang did that from like the very beginning. He was always doing it for anything other than fighting if he could. There we go, and Korra will obviously be blue. And what's tricky is that Korra here is drawn bigger because she's closer up. So you have to make sure that you're not drawing her the same size as all the other characters too. So I'm pretty much like just not even picking up my finger that I've pen the entire time. I still feel like Sokka's the funniest one though. I don't know if I've seen anybody come after him that was like as funny. Turtle ducks, yeah, turtle ducks. Those guys were so cute. Like they really didn't even have like a rhyme or reason for the characters because like a flying bison is not a mixture of animals either. It's just he's just his different his own breed. All right. Her boots remind me of Uggs. They seem so comfy. Did any of you guys dress up as any of these characters for Halloween? Okay. I'll do a little red fox too. A raccoon fox. I saw for the first time today, or yesterday, it was an albino raccoon, and so it was all white without the mask, and it was pretty crazy because I didn't realize how much of a raccoon actually was in its mask. So if you took it away, it just looked like a completely different animal that like I've never seen before. I think I drew him a little too big though. turtle ducks. You think, what are, Isabella? Alright, how are we doing on time? We can go a little bit past 10:30. Let's draw some outlines for these characters. Okay. And remember, try to keep all the funness of your lines that you had. I'm always trying to remind myself to do that, to keep the lines like a lot looser and let them go with the flow a little bit more, as opposed to trying to like have everything exactly where I want it. A lot of life lessons I've learned through drawing. There we go. Let's draw Poe next. Or right, this is Poe. Like what kind? I wanted to, but I had literally no time to make a costume. Oh no. Yeah, it kind of looks like a white cat. It kind of looks like a fox too. Let me see. I can pull it up here. Yeah, look what it looks like. It looks kind of like an opossum. Um, it looks so weird, kind of like super cute, but like you're like, what is that? Right? This one where it's in the bathtub. That's very funny. Like it looks kind of like a cat, kind of like an opossum, kind of like a rat. It's like so weird that like just taking off the mask, like you completely can't tell what animal it is anymore. Like I don't think I would be able to guess that that was a raccoon. Yeah, I love Poe, and I hope that's really is his name. I love his design, like his hair and his thick eyebrows, like in the little curl and everything. It's just such a funny design. I feel like he's like would be the most fun character to draw. Trying to just keep the lines flowing. Um, by the way, do any of you guys in the comments, do you guys have charcoal? Have you ever used charcoal before? You know what charcoal is? It's basically like burnt wood that you can draw with. Um, or if you've ever gone camping, and you used like the pieces of wood that were from the fireplace, after they weren't hot anymore and they cooled off. Um, a lot of artists use them for figure drawing. So it's like when you draw the models up on the stage. If you go to art school, that's what they teach you to do, and you draw with charcoal on a big newsprint pad, which is super super. Oh, it looks like a bowl. Probably looks like a red panda. Totally, yeah. Um, it's what that woman had there at the beginning of our class that I showed you guys. That's what she was using. Um, okay, let's draw a little red fox, and then oh, I just realized I need to make sure that I'm not standing your guys' way. Okay. Um, here we go. I'll leave that part to color actually. There we go. There's your eraser. I actually once had a pet ferret. So cute. Her name was Sassy. She definitely was very, very sassy. My head always turned black afterwards. Yep. Yep, it does that. Well, did you see, yeah, Isabella, charcoal? Um, Heather's hands were always black. That's also why she wore black clothes all the time when she worked on the pieces, because she would literally roll around her whole body, and like trace the movement. Okay, here we go. And for next week, I'm going to have to color it, and I'm just going to do some watercolors in the background, um, like watercolors underneath the layer. There we go, and I'll finish the other characters. So we're going to pause right here, and let's jump back to our slides. Okay. The fire ferret. Pabu's called a fire ferret. Oh, there, gotcha. Okay. Karate break with Sensei No Time. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. We're going to do a quick round. One, because we don't have a whole lot of time. Two, because I have a splitting headache right now for some reason when I woke up. Oh, I'm going to keep these pictures just so anybody new can see. This is me when I was a little kid. I was a little orange belt. And that's my teacher all the way over there, Sensei Harry. And he taught me pretty much everything I know in martial arts. He was my teacher since I was like 7 and into my 20s. By the time like I was like student teaching there, and teaching my own classes and stuff. It was really, really cool, fun times there. What's funny though is I never wanted to go. Like each week, I would be like, mom, I was like, I don't want to go. And each week they'd be like, well, just go. Like you could always come back if you don't like it, because I would bike there. I had a ferret, not a panda. Yes. Did I say panda? Anyway, I would go, and every time I got there, I would instantly feel better, and I feel good about being there. And so then I would have such a good time, and the exercise was so good. But it was the act of like actually going there and thinking, like getting up off the couch, stop watching TV, and like put on my uniform. I hated that every time. But I was glad that I kept on going. All right, so let's do some Sensei Says. All right, here we go. So we're going to start with some stretches. Just mostly arm stretches. There we go, like that. And then pull your elbow down like this. Good. And then rotate your neck around. There you go. Keep yourself loose. Okay. We're going to start off with some easy kicks. And I think we're just going to do one round because I'm already kind of feeling not super hot this morning. Let's just start with all of them. Okay, ready. Sensei says, straight punch. Sensei says spear hand. Sensei says heel palm. Sensei says front kick. Sensei says side kick. Sensei says back kick. Cross block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says rising block. Down block. Parry. Sensei says parry. Sensei says back fist. Shoot do. Sensei says ridge hand. Sensei says ridge hand. Vertical fist. Vertical fist. Sensei says back fist. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says heel palm. Sensei says front kick. Sensei says side kick. Back kick. Sensei says straight punch. Sensei says spear hand. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Rising block. Middle block. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says back fist. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says ridge hand. Vertical fist. All right. That was like maybe our shortest round yet. What do you guys think? Have I gotten any of you out with that already? Kevin, I feel like we've changed it up since you last played with us. I don't see anybody yet. Let's do one more round then. I think I have it in me. And don't forget, everybody, drink your water. That'll keep you awake and alive, and it's good for you. Okay. Sensei says front kick. Sensei says back kick. Sensei says side kick. Sensei says cross block, middle block, down block. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says spear hand. Sensei says heel palm, hammer fist. Sensei says back fist. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says ridge hand. Back fist. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says back fist. Sensei says straight punch. Sensei says straight punch. Sensei says front kick. Sensei says side kick. Back kick. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says shoot do. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says down block. Sensei says cross block. Sensei says middle block. Sensei says heel palm. Cross block. Sensei says spear hand. Sensei says ridge hand. Vertical fist. Sensei says vertical fist. Sensei says hammer fist. That was a back fist actually. Sensei says hammer fist. Sensei says back fist. Heel palm. Let me know. Did I get any of you out with that one? You guys are being quiet. I feel like I got all of you out. Moving on to our next part. Oh, you're still in, Kevin. Nice job. Okay. We're going to move on to the next part just so we have enough time to do it all. This one is called Kinetic Art. Now, Kinetic Art is the art of movement. So, I'm going to get this set up right here. Okay, so the art, I just had to turn my other camera back on. We are going to change from doing what we were doing. And here we go. So this is the drawing pad that I have set up, and we're not going to be drawing on the tablet anymore. I'm going to draw for the rest of class right here. And we're going to try to do some of the kinetic art that Heather did. Now, just to reiterate, we're going to look back to see what she had. Let's scoot back to... right here. There we go. So this was Heather. Heather right here is drawing on the ground. She's kind of keeping both her hands together and drawing with the movement. I've been taking pictures of her. She left the exposure open so that you could see the actual movement. Kind of like people do that with like lights and stuff like that too on the 4th of July a lot of the time. So we're going to do what Heather did, and we're going to actually draw kinetic art. Still in, Isabella. Very nice. Okay, so when I go down on the floor or on the desk to do this art, you guys won't be able to. I won't be able to see your comments, so I'm going to be missing for half a second while I draw. But I want you guys to try to do the same thing. So even if you draw on charcoal on a big newsprint pad, you can still do it with 2 pencils and a piece of paper, or on your tablet too. Actually, I don't think you can do it on your tablet. What you can do. And I'll show you this really quick. I just realized. Okay. There we go. On your tablet, there's a feature under Canvas right here. So under the gear and then under Canvas, and then you do drawing guide like that. And then you do edit drawing guide. And here you can do symmetry, or you can do, so under symmetry, this means that when you draw, it'll create a symmetrical image. And you can also do different ones. You can do it horizontally, quadrilaterally, which means there are 4, or radially. What I'm going to be doing, since I'm only going to be using 2 hands, it's going to be a vertical one. And you have assisted drawing on. So watch. Now when you click it, this is what happens. And you can create really cool effects like this. So that's what we're going to do in real time on real paper. yeah, it's really cool. You can create a lot of fun designs on here. And even if you're drawing like a character and you're working really hard on one eye, you can do that like that. And that way you can make sure the character is actually symmetrical. So that's how you do it. So one more time, you click the gear at the top, the wrench at the top, not the gear, sorry. You click canvas, then you turn on drawing guide, and you go to edit, and you go to symmetry, and that's what you want on. All right. Now, I'm going to jump down to the floor, and we're going to draw, we're going to try to draw some kinetic drawings, okay? Let's go. Okay. Here we go. Now this is charcoal, but good, you guys can still see it. This is Willow Charcoal. It's really thin. And charcoal is always pretty inexpensive. So it's a really nice one to test out and draw. These are super thin. Yeah. Yeah. And it's easy to break too. So that's just because it's literally just burnt wood. So I'm going to put these guys right here. And this is another charcoal, which is alpha core soft, or they're actually pastels, but they kind of work like charcoal too. These are a lot thicker. Let me make sure. Let me check the comment. Cool. Okay, ready. So let's start with the actual charcoal. And you can see my fingers are already getting black. That's what's fun about being an artist, is that you can get messy, and it's fine. Okay, so let's draw. Now it's tricky to do it like this because I really have to make my hands do the same thing. When Heather does it, she just does it with her whole body. So she literally lays down and then stretches her arms out like this. But it's surprisingly like, it's tricky, but it's not impossible to follow the same rhythm of your hands. So let's try to do that. And it's kind of weird that it's that simple to draw the same design with your hands. Yeah. I think I'm still inspired by that butterfly. That's what I'm drawing. Oops, there it goes, break. Okay. All right. How's it looking, guys? Can you guys see? That's cool. Okay, cool. Let's try another one. And that's what's cool about this newsprint pad, is that it's super like inexpensive paper, so you don't have to feel bad about making a lot of mistakes or doing a mess, making a mess of it. Okay. Let's see. This time I think I'm going to do it from the side, so I'm actually going to use these guys and do some like put them down flat like this instead of drawing. If you're doing this, it might help to actually stick the paper down. Okay. Nothing might come out. Cool. Okay, you guys can still see. Good. Okay. Any comments? I can hear. You guys can hear me fine? Okay, cool. We're going to do maybe one or two more. Okay, let's try this. And what's cool, too, is that I read that Heather did this. So watch. She drew. And then she smudged it with her fingers. And I guess also made fingerprints on there, too. do one. At least I don't remember doing it that often. You can hear me fine. Good. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Okay, ready. Last one right here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna hold it down with my knee. There you go. That way I can really go crazy. Okay. Yeah. Just trying to make sure my hat doesn't cover the camera. Oops, broke. Very interesting. And look at my hands now. So dirty. Hey, right, I'm back. So pretty cool, right, guys? Hands are totally dirty. A lot of fun. I love getting dirty with art. I feel like a real artist when I do that, especially after drawing on a tablet for so long. Yep, we moved. Especially being on a tablet for so long, it's kind of nice to get your hands dirty. I just need to wash them because I've already gotten my mouse all messed up and dirty. All right, my keyboard's gonna be so dirty now. So I would love to see what you guys have, what you guys did, if you guys tried it out. You can even use crayons too if you don't have charcoal. Crayons work really well. Send it all in to noahfontana@gmail.com and or on my Instagram. You can tag me in a picture if you guys want to share it with like everybody. You can send it to teacher.noah or just tag me in it, and I'll see it. The challenge for today is to draw the animal hybrid that you would have in the Avatar: The Last Airbender universe, or like the Legend of Korra universe. What kind of hybrid animal would you have? And I would love to see what you guys could come up with. I feel like mine would obviously have to be some part of a tortoise. Maybe it would be like a tortoise and a ferret, because that was also one of my favorite pets. And that would be so interesting because ferrets are so like bendy and like bouncy, and they like run around all the time. And tortoises do the complete opposite of that. They don't bend at all, and they're very slow. All right, for our star student for morning mail today, it was no other than Isabella. Very nice job, Isabella. You did some amazing. Oh, I'm all in the way. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay, Isabella did some awesome Avatar characters, and check them out. So she did Katara, Toph, and Suki. Suki's my favorite. I mean, Suki's my favorite character in general of the ones that you've drawn. I mean, she's pretty good too. I think I like Toph though because of the rocks, the floating rocks. That's really cool. And Isabella also drew. Whoa. Okay, so May, Tylee, and Azula. There we go. I was blanking on Azula's name for a second there. These are so cool. Azula's fire or like electric looks so awesome. Really nice job, and you got the moods of all their characters so well. And I love that you have your own like your little quirky dolphin studios, and yeah, looks really nice. What's the for? Oh, and but yeah, really nice job, Isabella. Something cat for me. Oh, you're thinking about the animals. So quick checklist before you guys head out. Remember to thumbs up and subscribe. You can donate too. There's a link at the bottom. Comment below what topics you guys would like to draw next. I still have a couple, but yeah, let me know if there's any ones in particular you want me to push to the front. And then send your drawings to my email, noahfontana@gmail.com. And stay updated by other news by following me on Instagram. Next week, we're going to have a mystery guest episode. Super excited for this. We've never done this before. I'm going to try to have a guest artist live streaming with me. Yeah, fingers crossed that we could make it happen and make it work. There's a couple things I still need to figure out first, but if we can figure it out, we'll be awesome and right on track. So these are really cool. But yeah, that's what we're going to do next Saturday, the 14th. and I'll see you guys there. Okay, let's see. I don't know. This works too. All right, guys. I will see you guys later. It's almost 11, so we're gonna end it here. Oa, you are correct. Isabella did a great job. Really proud of you. And send me your stuff. Let me see your hands that are dirty too. I want to see the charcoal hands and all the mess that you guys make. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you later.